Hi fellow YouTubers, I'm Tammy Peterson, this is Dig the Dig. The thing I want to talk about today is pipes. Now, I tend to like to breath smoke when I smoke my pipe. So one of the main considerations I take into account is the weight of the pipe. Because if you look at this here, this is a Peterson 75th anniversary edition pipe, and it was a present from my wife. It was a nice pipe, but if you try to hold this in your mouth for any length of time, it's got quite a weight to it, and what would eventually happen is it would pull your mouth down to the side, and then you'd eventually walk about as if you had a fucking stroke, you know. So it's a nice pipe, it's a lovely pipe, and I tend to smoke that one indoors when I can sit holding the thing. But like I said, I like to breath smoke. I think it's the only way you really appreciate the true flavour of tobacco. And what I mean by that is if you just hold the pipe in your mouth and just breathe, when you breathe out through the pipe, and every time you breathe in you don't need to take a draw of the pipe, but you gradually get into the rhythm. This is something I discovered quite by accident, because I smoke a pipe a lot outside when I'm walking down the street, and I didn't want to walk down the street with, my arm up like this, you know. So what I tend to do when I'm out is just beat the pipe. Excuse me a minute. Doug! That's Doug. But so what I usually do when I'm buying a pipe is, if it's on the internet, then I check what the weight of the pipe is in grams, and the lighter the pipe actually the better for me. But if I'm buying something at a shop, the best way I think to do it is to pick the pipe up and hold it between your thumb and your forefinger like that at the end, and that gives you an idea of how heavy it's going to be in your mouth, you know. Way back when I was a boy, I used to be able to get these. It's a Stonehaven. Now I don't believe they make them anymore, and every newsagent shop in Scotland, whether it was a tobacconist or not, used to sell these. They were about £4.95, which is probably, I don't know, $8 or something like that. And they were really popular, you know. And I've had this pipe for, for a long time anyway, you know. And that's ideal just for holding in your mouth, you know. And very light, you know. The thing is, of course, the shorter the pipe, the hotter the smoke. So you're really better if you're using a nose warmer, in my opinion anyway, is to smoke a stronger blend in it, you know, a higher nicotine and a higher flavour than, say, like an aromatic or something, because it will tend to burn too hot, you know. But that pipe, I used this for Condor for years, you know, so it's got a Condor ghost. It's a very friendly ghost, you know, so, you know, I'm sort of quite happy, and I still use that for Condor when I'm out. This pipe I'm using just now, this is called a aboot shoka, I think that's the correct way you pronounce it. It's spelled Butz, P-U-T-Z, Shoquin, C-H-O-Q-U-I-N, you know, just like the fucking French. But alright, pipe. It goes in my waistcoat, you know, and it's light enough for me to hold in my mouth, you know. That's where it's going. Yeah, I don't think if you're going to smoke a big pipe like this, and this is actually the biggest pipe I've got, what you have to take into account is if you smoke outside, and I smoke quite a lot, so I tend to smoke outside, are you going to be able to walk around with that in your mouth, or are you going to be, you know, like walking around with your arm up like this, you know? It's just something I don't like doing, you know, so most of my pipes tend to be light. I mean, this is a standard Peterson system, and it's brilliant. I mean, it's just as light as a feather, you know, it smokes great. That's my second pipe, and I've had this for many years, and it still smokes good, you know. Again, it's got a condor ghost, you know, and again, it's a very friendly ghost, you know. And yeah, I'm smoking Hal O the Wynd. Hal O the Wynd, shit. Pardon me. Hal O the Wynd, it's no pronounced wind, it's wind. W-Y-N-D. And what that actually means, it's a Scottish word for lane, or like small path, you know, like sort of meandering path. And Hal was a chap that, I think this happened up in Perthshire, but don't quote me on this. Two clans were having an argument, two Scottish clans, and to settle it they decided to get, you know, a team of about 11 of them each to have a fight, and one of the clans never had enough people. When they turned up, there was only 10 of them, there was 11 of the other ones. So they asked if anybody else wanted to stand in, and this guy called Hal, and I presume that he lived doing a wind, you know. He had a blacksmith shop, as a blacksmith, and he volunteered to stand in. So this was our plan. And yeah, and that's where they got the name of that tobacco fit. Oh aye, and he was one of the last people standing at the end of that as well, you know, after they were battering the shit out each other with big sauce and things, you know, sort of things they did up in Scotland. Back in these days, like, you know, it's a lovely place, Scotland now, you know, I recommend it. Anyway. This is a lovely tobacco to smoke in a smaller bowl pipe, because if you smoke it in too big a pipe, you'll miss the perique. Because it's one of these blends where the perique is definitely condiment. It's not particularly noticeable to start with anyway, you know, but as you get down the bowl about a half to a third down the bowl, that, you know, it starts to come to the fore a wee bit. But yeah, I recommend this. It's a regular smoker night. And yeah. So that's all I wanted to say was about the pipes, you know. These wee nose warmers are great as well, you know, I've had them for years. They've all got condor ghosts as well, you know. I can always tell my new pipes because they're no ghosted by condor, you know. Anyway. Aye, so I think I'll leave that there, and thanks for listening, folks. Cheers.